One of the main issues with the 3-3-5 and the 4-2-5 are the occasional strange alignment quirks. That is, sometimes one of the strong safeties will go across the formation when he's not expected to. This is especially true when you have multiple wide receivers to the wide side of the field. In the 3-3-5, the only time you want your safety to come across the formation is if the offense has 4 wide receivers on the field and 3 of those are to one side. To combat these quirks, you'll want to use the base of line as your team is breaking the huddle. Then, depending upon what formation the offense is in, you can flip your play, audible to a different play, or just go with what you called. From there, you can then turn off base line to get the matchups that you want to get. As well, though, from time to time, you can keep baseline on, just simply to create a different look for the defense. The first offensive matchup we're going to look at is the 3-3-5 cover 1 against the under center or ace slot formation. As you'll see, there's 2 wide receivers to one side and 1 to the opposite. And pretty much in the middle of the field, everybody has the exact right assignment. You've got your corners covering the outside receivers and your safeties, one covering a slot and one covering the tight end, then your linebacker assigned to the halfback. That's pretty much exactly how you expect it to be. The issue is, though, when the offense is actually on the hash, in this case, with this offense, the right hash. What you'll notice is that now your strong safety number 1, who was on the other side of the field just moments ago, is now assigned to that slot wide receiver. Your strong safety number 2 is then assigned to that halfback, and your linebacker is now assigned to the tight end. The problem is that then leaves that one side of the field wide open to where anybody who's paying attention can just simply run to that side and generally would have the numbers. To combat this, as mentioned, you'll want to use the base of line as your team is coming out of the huddle. To do that, on PS3, just simply hit the triangle and then D-pad to the right. What that'll do is that'll make sure that everybody basically stays in the same positions that they would in the default play. Obviously, your linebackers may float. Here you see the middle linebacker in the middle. But as far as your defensive backs go, they'll all align to how the play art is designed. The only problem with this is that you'll notice that strong safety 2 here is not lined up on his receiver. This will kind of be a giveaway to most users, as they'll notice that he's not on there, which tells them that either that he's blitzing or just simply that you've got base line turned on. Now, they don't know whether he's in man, blitzing, in zone, or anything like that. They just simply know that he's not lined up on that receiver. From here, you can either stay with what you've got called, which, again, with base line on, the safety wouldn't be aligned on his receiver, or you could actually audible to have a blitz, a cover 1 blitz, probably in this case, with the strong safety number 1 blitzing. What that'll do is then that'll assign the linebacker to this side to the tight end, and then either the other outside linebacker or the middle linebacker would then likely be assigned to the halfback. You'll also need to make sure to watch this in other formations. So, for example, if the offense is in a Y trips look, you'll notice that on the right hash, everybody is exactly how you expect them to be. Tight end covering the halfback, strong safety number 1 covering the receiver in front of him, and then in this case, strong safety number 2 is assigned to the halfback. Obviously, if they run a swing pass to the short side of the field, strong safety 2 is going to be out of position, but in that case, usually that outside linebacker will actually pick him up for you. Now, if we move the ball to the opposite hash, again, you'll notice that the strong safety came across the formation. You can always do one of several different things. You can either keep this as you want it, if you like that look. Again, though, it just simply, in this case, it's not as bad because the tight end's not to that. The tight end is still to the strength of the formation. However, you can also turn the baseline off, which will then, again, give a similar look like we saw against the slot, with just simply strong safety 1 not aligned to his wide receiver. Another side to this is that In this case, we have the 3-3-5 split man QB spy, which is a cover one defense, but it puts strong safety number 2 into a blitz. So because there's now nobody assigned to that slot wide receiver, strong safety number 1 comes across the formation. However, what I do is I'll turn off base align so that that strong safety stays home, but then just simply flip the play so that the blitz comes from the opposite side and then turns the base align back off. As I mentioned, the only time you'll want to see your strong safety come across the formation is when there are 4 receivers on the field and 3 of those are lined up to one side of the field. In this case, it is the pistol 4 wide receiver trips. You have the 3 receivers to the left, so strong safety 2 covers the most inside slot. For some reason, he's aligned here awkwardly in the formation, but you can always just manually move him over. And then strong safety number 1 is aligned to the other slot receiver. Then from there, it's just simply a matchups number. Defense has 6 in the box with the 3 linebackers and 3 defensive linemen. Basically, if the offense does decide to run the ball, that means you've got the numbers of 6 against 5, leaving 1 man unblocked to tackle the running back. One of the other really odd quirks is if the offense is in a wide trips look or just simply in a twins to the right side, for some reason this strong safety will come out and cover the outside wide receiver. Obviously, you generally want to have your cornerbacks on the outside wide receiver so that they'll play the deep coverage. So to fix that, I'll usually turn on the base align. One of the other added benefits with the base align is when you're calling cover 2, and in this case we're in the 3-3-5 stack cover 2 man. You'll notice that in this case strong safety number 1 is dropped deep to cover 2 with the free safety, and then strong safety number 2 is here assigned onto that slot receiver. Depending upon your personnel, you may want to have strong safety number 2 deep instead of strong safety number 1, and so what you can do is you can actually flip the play. And if you had not been in base align, you'll notice that strong safety 2 has a long way to go before he can get back into his deep coverage. If somebody's really impatient or just simply is ready to snap the ball, by the time he gets back over there, he's going to be out of position. However, if you turn on base align, you'll notice that a linebacker is assigned to cover that slot. Obviously, we don't want that, but if you then quickly flip the play, then strong safety number 1 will come into the box and cover that slot receiver. You can then turn off base align, and then everybody again will still be assigned to cover who they want to. It just depends upon what you do with your personnel, where the offense has the ball, who's on the field for the offense, so on and so forth. There's a lot of different strange quirks that there's too many for me to really go through. It's something that you'll kind of have to play with on your own, but at the same time, as you slowly begin to learn it, you'll kind of find the right situations for it and which ones not. As I said, I pretty much every single play will call baseline out of the huddle, but then depending upon what the offense presents me, then I'll either turn it off, flip the play, change to an audible, things like that. Again, it's just a matter of learning what you want to do with your defense.